Also, the connection's getting bad because there are so many people in this channel.
There are so many people. Like, good God, the Discord has been blowing up as well. Like, I've been here for a while, but like every time, like when, like Alexandria joined and everything was chaos.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just realized that happened. Yeah, that just hit me now.
and now I'm here too.
Welcome.
What the hell?
Hey, speaking of people who are here, Hbomb, I heard you were looking for some advice from some speedrunners?
Is that protomagicalgirl?
Yeah, it
In the
is.
flesh!
Oh my god, welcome!
And don't you worry, don't you worry, don't you worry, we know exactly nothing about Donkey Kong 64 speedrunning, so we're here to commiserate with you.
Cut her mic. Delete, kick her from... No. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And the same. Thank you for making that really good video about speedrunning one time. We're really used to speedrunning YouTube content being like cringe compilation garbage, and that was a really nice change of pace.
Thank you. A change of pace from being absolute shit. So that means it automatically is good. See, again, the bar is low enough that I can trip. It's excellent.
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
Someone who gets it. Okay, I guess we should do like a formal introduction for those who don't know us. Hi, we're protomagicalgirl. We are a plural trans speedrunner. We used to work for Games Done Quick and do a bunch of other speedrunning events and stuff. And yeah, I guess a bunch of people wanted us on this stream. Don't know why, but we're here now.
I mentioned your work. And
oh my gosh, no! What you're the famous.
No,
what?
No, I'm not.
No,
so,
what?
by the way, that speedrun video I made, I've been planning this since then. I got sick twice with different bad illnesses, and got lost in Japan.
You're all famous here.
Everyone's famous.
Actually,
now.
I see some pluralgang in the chat. Can we get some more pluralgang in the chat, please? All of our multiples out there, we love all of you.
It's
all three of us to all many of you.
Aw.
Oh, that is some good stuff in the chat. Oh my gosh.
What is down here? Or is this just a death pit? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. It never stops. It never gets better. Yeah, I take it back. Yeah, the song was wrong. Donkey Kong 64 never gets better. That's what the song was about, right? Donkey Kong 64.
I guess this is a bad time to say that I never played any classical games. All I do is history and play like weird strategy games, so I'm probably like the worst help here. But if you have any questions about like 1897 Germany or like Austria, I'm your girl. I know that.
What is the point of studying history if you don't know the history of gaming? This is a classic piece of... This is an artifact now. What have you been doing with your life? No, that sounds really cool, and I would love to do a stream of like Hearts of Iron or something and talk history with you, but who boy?
Person in the chat who said, I've always referred to myself in my head as we, is that normal? No, probably not. You're valid.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It may not be common, but that doesn't mean it's not normal or not.
That's true.
Not valid. Yeah.
You might be plural though.
Yeah. Who knows? The definition of normal. We've been talking a lot about this. A lot of different competing definitions of words that used to seem so simple when I was 6, and it turns out that's fine.
Bullshit.
It was all a lie. I was lied to. Oh, go! You can do it, Tiny.
Kermit the Frog here to say trans rights.
Thank you, Strawberry.
Trans rights.
Oh my god, finally.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson.
It's the Dragon of Chaos.
Shit, they've discovered me. Lipstick, lobsters, fuck. Get out of your room.
Chelsea, if I can have just like a moment, I just want you to know that we had hashtag we got this in our stream title for like literally every stream for 2 years. Or something. We literally only took it out recently when we decided we like actually needed that space to say which of us was fronting that day for the stream.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Also, people in chat who are asking, hey, what's plurality? Pluralityresource.org has like definitions and stuff.
Look it up.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, does anyone know is there a resource website somewhere for where Lanky's bananas are in Crystal Caves? Crystal Caves, I think, is a UK thing. A UK thing.
Yeah.
game show. Maybe it's a thing.
Are you telling me that
losing-
Donkey Kong is?
My-
Are you telling me that Donkey Kong takes place in the?
Yes, yeah. A lot of all the voice acting is very British. It's just the programmers. It's very coding based.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm in the chat currently. How's your day going?
My morning is going quite well. It's 2:02 a.m.
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Huzzah. So hello, chat.
Hi.
I'm Laura K Buzz. I do video gamey things on the internet and talk a lot about trans stuff because hey, being a trans person's fun. And I'm back here, and I'm glad to be back. It's been wonderful. I've been watching for the last couple of hours. I saw the nonsense while Alexandria Cortez showed up, and that was a whole thing. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about a thing that I think is interesting, that might be good for people who are on at the second, which is...
I saw you mentioning this in the chat, and I think it's worth bringing up.
Yeah. So, there's this thing that a lot of people don't know, that there's around an 8 to 10-fold increase back and forth between autism and being transgender. You tend to find that people are about 10 times more frequently one than... if they're one, they're about 10 times more likely than the general population to be the other, which we have no real solid idea as to why that is, because apparently, it's known, we know the numbers, but no one researches this, apparently.
They're correlated, and the cause hasn't, isn't found. People would like to assume it's just the bad people. It's just all the stuff. But no, there's actually, we just don't know because we haven't done any studies into it because people don't want people to check.
There's some vague theories that involve things like parts of the brain that involve image self-regulation and perception, and certain parts of the brain that light up in similar ways in both, but we don't know for certain. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that overlap, because I think there's some really interesting stuff that's never really talked about in there. So this is going to be like a real crash course sort of thing, but the basics are, there's a lot of things that when you first come out as a trans person, there's a lot of pressure to there's this term passing, which is a nonsense thing. It's this idea that trans people are only valid as trans people if they make themselves invisible, if they, can pass for being a cis person of their gender. But it's a thing that a lot of people target for a lot of reasons, be it for personal comfort, be it for safety, for being able to use things like women's changing rooms, public bathrooms without being harassed. And there's a lot of aspects of passing, if that's a thing that, if that's a thing that you're aiming for, that are really difficult when you're on the autism spectrum. Some basic examples are things like, if you're a trans woman who has gone through a testosterone-based puberty already, you've got things like facial hair. Having to shave your face on a daily basis or multiple times a day can be really bad if you have touch sensitivity.
Hey, you're literally describing me right now.
Hooray!
Hypersensitive autistic trans woman chiming in here. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a really common thing. Makeup. For anyone that uses makeup to cover things like 5 o'clock shadow, that's really difficult if you've got touch sensitivity.
I can't stand makeup.
Getting used to changes in clothing outfits can be really difficult. I know for myself, suddenly adapting to things like where bra straps were sitting. Again, a lot of these are just because of touch sensitivity, but that can be a real barrier to a lot of the things that can make it easier to be safe out in the world as a trans person, and it really sucks.
I don't really enjoy concepts like passing. I find them it's a lot of unnecessary gatekeeping, and for a lot of people who I mean, some people straight up can't afford a lot of makeup. There are plenty of cis women who also can't, and these, when we place expectations that require something that someone can't do on a gender, I don't think that's appropriate, personally.
It's a nonsense concept in and of itself, in that it shouldn't be a requirement to being taken seriously as a trans person, but it's equally a case of it is a reality that a lot of people don't take trans people seriously when we don't pass, and I count myself in that. I'm a non-passing trans person. I am very, very frequently read as a trans person, and that was really difficult when I first came out because like it increases the frequency with which you get harassment. It makes the potential risk and the fears associated with being out in the world. It feels a lot more real that someone might clock that you're trans, and that if they have a problem with that, they might bring that up.
I've asked trans women who I feel, you know, I can ask these questions and not feel like I'm overstepping the mark. You know, why does passing matter to you? To people who do find it important, and the answer is it's one of the ways you deal with if you ever get clocked, as it were. You cope with that in a variety of different ways, and one of them is by deciding, well, I guess I have to try and pass all the time now, and
it's partly that, and I'm gonna be honest, part of it is just the times where I do wear makeup, I look better. There are times where I look at myself in the mirror and go, I look beautiful, and it's really disheartening to spend like a lot of. I've gone through a testosterone-based puberty. There's a lot of aspects of my body that changed and will never change back because that's not how estrogen works. Things that have been changed by testosterone stick in place, and it's like there are parts of myself I don't like, and I wish I could engage with simple daily routines that would help me to feel better about my appearance, but I can't because I am part of the 8 to 10 times the general population rate of trans people who are on the autism spectrum, which kind of sucks, but...
Can I chime in for sort of a story about this particular topic? So, this is not going to be the happiest story, just as a forewarning.
Before you start, could you tell me where the blueprint is for Blanky, and then I'll be quiet and search for it.
Yes. Blanky Kong.
It'll be one. It might be the 5th banana.
Okay, banana 5 is use the lanky pads to float up to the high ledge near Funkies to find the blue Krisha. Would that be the thing?
Krisha, that's the one. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we did not have the luxury of getting to start HRT via informed consent. And so for those of you who sort of know about this process, knows that meant, in the United States, we had to get notes from, like, gender specialist therapists, TM. Now, this was literally traumatizing hell, and I cannot put it any lighter, but one of the things that happened in that therapy was this fucking doctor who's some random cis woman who knows nothing about trans people, decided that I wasn't actually trans, that I was just autistic and uncomfortable with having gone through puberty. And yeah, so the intersection of being trans and autistic is a thing.
Yeah, I did have another thing on this that was on that topic I wanted to say.
I'll go for it.
Yeah, so the thing I wanted to bring up was infantilization of people on the autism spectrum is a really big problem.
Oh god, yes.
A lot of people assume that people who are on the autism spectrum just aren't capable of making informed decisions about their own ability to live their lives, and that often overlaps when a person who is diagnosed on the autism spectrum comes out as trans. You get these issues. I had issues with my doctors being very, very iffy about prescribing me hormones because they knew I had an autism diagnosis. When I came out to my mother as trans, her assumption was that my therapist had brainwashed me into being trans because I was a vulnerable autistic person who, wouldn't have been able to see if I was being brainwashed, and that I wasn't really trans. I just was an autistic person that had been tricked into thinking it. It's a real thing, isn't it?
Gosh, I mean, we talk about autism being a spectrum, but it's even more complex than that. It's a spectrum of numerous different aspects. So very often something can intersect in a certain way, and I don't know, I think, I don't know where I was going with that. I did a lot of research into it recently because I almost did a thing on people who are against vaccinations. I wanted to talk more about how part of it is just the demonization of people with autism. It has nothing to do with any of the chemistry involved. And I wanted to look into that in more detail. But
all those people who are like, I'd rather have a dead kid than an autistic kid, sort of mindset is ludicrous. Because like autism can suck sometimes, but it can also be great. It can have
not a
its
death
wonderful
sentence.
moments. Like
Harris, people
sorry?
are reminding you to save your game.
I saved. I did it just then. I saw people mentioning it. Thank you very much, Valentina, specifically for atting me on Discord. Save your game, my god. I've done it. I did it.
Fuck Autism Speaks.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, no. They are
Oh
terrible.
my god,
Never-
fuck Autism
never-
Speaks.
Yeah.
Never support them in particular, but
Support the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network instead.
yeah.
That's the name. That's the one whose name this is the problem with being a very negative person. You remember the names of the ones that suck, and you don't remember the names of the good ones. So thank you for saying that on the stream. Now people know. Because I only know
ASAN.
that.
It's like NASA backwards.
Yeah.
It's easy to remember.
All I know is Fuck Autism Speaks. I just don't know the one that you should donate to. So thank you. Yeah. And fuck Graham Linehan while we're at it. Hasn't been said enough.
That too.
We had a bunch of real people with careers to mind on who couldn't say it, but I can.
Hey, I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. Hey, Casey.
Hello.
Apparently Falcon X Falcon might be coming in, who is a speedrunner, but I don't know.
Can I just say hello quickly to Casey, because I've followed you for ages and it's really nice to get to say hi.
Hi, Laura. I think this is the first time we're actually getting a chance to speak, and yeah, we've been following each other on Twitter for a very long time. And
yeah, this is Casey, my agent.
Hooray! Right. I will just say quickly, I'm gonna head off the stream because, as has been pointed out in the chat, and I think this is a really valid concern, and I don't want to be propagating this. There has been very much a lack of guests on the stream who have been people of color, trans men, particularly that sort of intersection of keeping more say black disabled trans men of color, for example. I apologize that I've taken a slot that potentially could have been used by those. Thank you very much for having me on and letting me talk about this issue. I'm glad that I was able to get it in front of a lot of people.
The fault is mine. I told people to get you on, so you have to apologize. But thank you for coming on.
No. I've seen a couple of messages directed at me while I've been speaking, so I apologize if I've caused any issues.
No problem at all.
Right.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Good luck with continuing the stream.
Thank you.
We're probably gonna head out for the same reason. Want to make room for other people. Got to be here for the autism discussion, so hey, that worked out.
Thank you, Protomagicalgirl.
Yeah, no problem. If you
Cheers.
need anyone to read donations in a cheesy voice, we're always on Twitter.
I appreciate
Also,
it.
to the literally 180 people that follow requested our Twitter, we'll be going through those requests slowly, understandably. We'll try and get to all of them. Thank you all so much, and if you like cool queer stuff, go listen to our podcast, Setting the Record Queer. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, shameless plug. Good luck, Hbomb.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Whew.
I was also thinking about heading out in a bit because I'm also like on this. However,
Thank you, Mia.
Can I just finish? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm really flattered because I'm a small YouTuber and I'm not really expecting to be on these things. However, I do have one question that because I did get a question. I think it's a kind of important question.
Yeah.
If I can answer that, I'll promise to be concise and then I'll
please.
share my SoundCloud and get away forever. So I got someone who asked about the Nazis destroying that LGBT institute in Germany.